Let's go, guys. I'm back. And raw. No doubt. Mm, 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 All right. Sinners. Um, I thought about this. I saw this movie yesterday. Um, I'm gonna get right to it. I'm gonna be very blunt with y'all. This movie is a weak movie. This is a weak movie for weak minds. But the first and most important thing is you're not going to see honest critique on this because this is the Kendrick Lamar, syndrome all over again. People review stuff now for clout and to ride the wave of what's already popping, right? Because they're trying to get their visibility up. So that's why you're not going to get anyone really saying anything honest about this movie, because people want to win. This is a very different cultural critique. There's really no cultural critique anymore, unfortunately, not like it used to be. And so you just have people who are like, well, the algorithm is favoring this movie because it's a major movie, and like there's the narrative of Ryan Coogler, and he's a black filmmaker. Oh, yeah, it's a great movie, right? It brings visibility to my channel, and I just go along with the get along. And you'll notice that most of these people, in fact, pretty much anyone I've seen talk about Sinners doesn't talk about the actual movie. They're talking about themes, stupid shit, right? They're not talking about what the actual movie is, a story, how the story makes them feel, because the storytelling is so weak in this movie. And it's lightweight pretentious. It's not full blown pretentious. I'll give Ryan Coogler that. It's not full blown, but it's lightweight pretentious. Now, let me start with what I thought was okay. Oh, I should say, because to me, when it comes to a movie, the most important thing in a movie are the actors and the script. I would almost say the acting is even slightly more important because there's just something about a great actor. A great actor can elevate a mediocre script. Um, I mean, within limits. But those are the two most important things. Once you have good acting or great acting and you have a great script, you've got a great movie. I mean, of course, a director has to come in, and look, this is no shade at the directors because directors are incredible. It's a whole craft on its own. And a great director and producers, they're there to make sure it doesn't get fucked up because there are ways to fuck this stuff up. But at least if you have great acting and great script, even if the director is mediocre and like fucks up like the costuming or like even certain scenes are out of sequence, like there's still gonna be moments, certain scenes that will stand out that you'll go, oh yeah, that was fire. Like whoever wrote this was really thinking, and this actor's amazing. There is no single standout scene in this movie at all. Um, the acting was okay. I mean, I think Michael B. Jordan looks somewhat like a star. I think this is he's committed, and I look at first when I was watching, I was like, oh, okay, he's Michael B. Jordan is trying here, and he's doing okay. He's doing all right. I thought Lee Jun Lee, the Asian lady, I guess she's Chinese, um, or portraying a Chinese role. I thought she was quite good, actually. So, I mean, the actors are committed. It's a story that lets them down, man. And thank God, Jonathan Majors' whack ass wasn't. You want to talk about a terrible fucking actor? He would have ruined that movie. I need to do a separate video, I guess, on Jonathan Majors because I've been sitting back watching this whole Jonathan Majors train wreck from. I remember when Last Black Man in San Francisco, whatever, came out, and I was like, this guy is not that great of an actor. What the fuck is going on? A total plant. Jonathan Majors is trash. He's a trash actor. All he does is dweeb with the dweeb, of course, inflection. Right? He cannot act. This is the warping of this shit that is like I'm watching, going like, what the fuck is going on with the arts culture? This guy cannot act. He does not have the charisma to pull off anything. I don't know if y'all try to watch Magazine Dreams. I try to see that shit. That shit is terrible. That is a terrible movie. The story is terrible. Jonathan Majors is terrible. He has no real charisma. It starts off with him talking in voiceover. That's a terrible movie. And someone's gonna go, yo, because it starts off in voiceover, it's a terrible movie. No, no, it just means that ultimately the storytelling is not as strong. There are great movies that start off with voiceover, but if it's just voiceover, then scene where someone else is the brunt of the scene, it starts off with the psychiatrist talking and Jonathan Majors just doing his dweeb face, and then it goes back to voiceover while he's like drinking milk. That's a weak ass movie. Come on, guys. I went to private school. I'm so sorry. I apologize for being educated and being, film savvy. Okay, I know that a lot of this stuff is aimed at people who are not, and that's okay, right? And someone's gonna go, yo, that's elitist. Well, if you were in my position, you would see it similar to how I see it. Okay, I recognize that not everything's for everybody. Okay, but I'm just telling you, for me personally, as somebody who is film savvy and has a taste, these movies are weak as fuck. Now, if you like them, that's okay. I'm not saying that you're not allowed to like them. You are allowed to like whatever you want to like. But what I'm not going to do is sit here and watch pretend critics who have so-called taste, lie and gaslight their way through reviews. Like, that shit's, you're insulting my intelligence. Oh my God. Anyway, Sinners, back to this woke movie. I will never see this movie again because the script is not very good. The problem is, once you realize that you're watching like kind of a silly musical, all things considered, I kept waiting for this shit. I kept like, once I figured out like there was like, it's the blues and motherfuckers is dancing, I'm going like, okay, but what's the story here? And anyways, I don't want to. Maybe I should spoil it, like, for y'all who gonna see it. But the dance sequence is so ridiculous that they might as well put this shit in there. In fact, why did they miss this? See, this is this is a crucial thing. They should have just put someone in the Thriller costume going like this. Oh, this stuff is so weak, man. This is the weakest era ever. See, the problem with not committing to a genre, because this movie starts off as kind of like almost like a historical drama of sorts. Okay, borderline maybe historical, borderline slight gangster film. Okay, then it switches to like a vampire tale slightly. Then it switches to like musical for like 10 minutes or whatever. And it's like, when you don't commit to a genre, it's because you haven't mastered any of those genres. That's just the truth of the matter. Okay, that hodgepodge shit will impress weaker minds. But for people who study genre, who love film, who've seen tons and tons of films, we're gonna go like, this stuff doesn't gel. It doesn't work, right? You can't just have a vampire and have a nigga doing up rocking and shit like that. You can't. Okay, you have to have a storytelling and logical justification for that shit, and it has to be built within the narrative. It can't just be someone says it, because the blues can forecast the future, therefore we're gonna now toss in a nigga with a chain on a microphone. That's retarded, right? That's some hood shit. Like, like, you have to work it into the story on a much deeper level, and this is what I'm talking about. This stuff is surface level as fuck. These movies are going to get so dumb that at some point the director's going to pop out mid-movie and be like, see, I told you we was Kangs, and people will be in the theater like freaking monkeys. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, this shit was weak. Now, I don't care about, what do I try to say? Telling me that blues are kind of the forefather to popular music and black music has been stolen before is trite. It's played out. And the Klan, it's played out. We know all this stuff already. What are you doing that's new? I'm sorry. This is not what black people, in my opinion, are looking for. Okay? Black audiences are very savvy. Not all of them, of course, but the ones that watch genre material, which this pretends to be some genre shit, the ones that watch genre stuff are very savvy. We grew up on anime and movies from all over the world, okay? So if you're going to introduce vampire lore, we're looking for you to do some new shit with the vampire lore. Take it a different direction. In this movie, the people don't even know that vampires exist, barely. You know what I'm saying? And then one of them's like, I've heard of them before. And I was like, what? You've heard of them before? Aren't you some like freaking doula or some shit? Like, what is this weak shit? Right? Take it somewhere. Develop the idea. The core thing about telling a good story is you start off with a germ of an idea, and then you expand and you expand and you expand, and you keep things consistent, right? And you really explore the premise from multiple directions and do it in a way that's fair, if that makes sense. People know, writers, you know what I'm talking about. It's not, I'm doing it, then I'm here, then I'm here, then I'm here, then I'm here, then I'm here. No, that's for children, right? You start here and you mushroom out, you expand, right? And then you wall it off and you present it to the audience, and the audience goes, ooh, not all this shit, and you're not doing any justice to either of these ideas. Um, I don't know, man. I could go on and on. I part of me says I want to ruin the movie, but I don't want to ruin it. Like, listen, if you want to go see it, go see it. But was I impressed? Not at all. Do I think it's the worst movie ever? No, that's not where I'm coming at it from. I'm just saying that it's not very strong at all. And this is the problem. I'll go to a little bit deeper here. This is not the black excellence that I wished for 15, 20 years ago, right? You know me, I'm a writer, okay? By the way, mine should be way better than this, but that's beside the point. Um, I long for the day where there will be black creatives that really come out with some super strong shit, not some timid shit. Not one person is, only gets the ability to make a film and then we all band around that person and go, oh my God, black excellence, hopefully you'll take us to the promised land. No, 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 no. Okay, because this shit reminds me of some Jordan Peele shit in the grand scheme of things. Again, and all these movies are all the same kind of mid. They're like gassed up like crazy, then you watch it and then you forget about them. Because ultimately the storytelling is not strong and the acting is not strong, right? I want us to really make that hot shit. Black folk are savvy. We don't want weak shit. And the truth is, this really shows you that the film climate is hurting bad. Because if this was the excellence that we all are craving and we want to get to, there has to be multiple black creatives doing this stuff. And again, I think Coogler has earned the right to make this movie. Let me get this very clear. He made Black Panther. That shit made a ton of money. There's an unofficial rule in LA, Hollywood, that you make one for them, one for you type of thing. So he's already made money for the studio. He gets the ability to make his own film. I am not taking that away from him at all. But what I am saying is that in a healthy artistic climate, there are multiple talented writers and directors, black, Asian, whatever, who are all doing crazy shit, and there's multiple opportunities for you to see yourself. And they're in competition so that you get people competing and making great stuff. When it's just one person that essentially is like this, massive director, it's not good. You might think it's good, but the truth is a lot of times that's a token. That's how tokens work. Now, again, someone's gonna say, "Yo, you dissing Cook." I don't know the brother. Okay, I don't know this brother. I am not mad at him as a person. I am just talking about the product. I think that this was not a great movie. I don't even think there was a germ of a great movie in here because there was no moment where I watched it and went, wow, that could have been, I can see something. It was all very trite, all of it. Now, the first 40 or so minutes was decent. I mean, I have to say, I think Coogler and Michael B. Jordan and them had, there was some dialogue and they were just kind of interacting and you're seeing that it was okay. It was all right. It wasn't terrible. It was okay. It was a tad charming here and there. It was okay. But again, you need to develop this into something much stronger, man. We come from 100+ years of cinematic culture. Okay? We can't be stuck in these like quasi hood movies. I'm sorry. Like we're still stuck in this like in the South, white people was racist to us. Like, yeah, we know that. We know the Klan existed in the 1930s. Well, can you tell us some new shit? Because white people are racist now. Okay, so can you show us something new here? I say all this because it just so happens that at the moment that I'm watching Attack on Titan, I've been sleeping on Attack on Titan. For those of y'all who are not familiar with Attack on Titan, I mean, this is anime. Um, I slept on this, so I'm like very early into season 2 now, and I have to say no spoilers, please, in the comments. But when I'm watching this, I just so happen, and I'm looking at Sinners. I'm looking at myself, and I'm going, why is our stuff so weak? Why is the bar so low? Like, the Japanese, not all their manga is great, not all their anime is great, and some of it sucks, no doubt. But when they have some shit, they have some shit. Now, I don't know where this goes. This I'm saying this now as somebody who's just started season 2. Maybe this falls the hell off. But my point is, that's a competitive environment. There's multiple artists all working, and they're all putting out their stuff, and the audience is ranking and great, and there's real honest conversations. It's not, so and so manga writer got a great deal with the studio. So and so manga writer, has a black wife. So and so manga writer knows LeBron James. Who gives a fuck, right? The material speaks for itself. When I see the marketing and it's all about the deal, the studio deal, and the costume and stuff that is like, okay, but what about the damn movie? If it's not about the movie, that's how I know that this is some AstroTurf shit. And the movie itself is really not that special. People are buying into Kugler's image and the image that is being presented. And look, that's very profitable for the studio because Kugler is going to go on to now develop X-Files or bring back, reheat stale leftovers of stuff you've already seen a million times. So if you attribute, from a marketing perspective, if you attribute Kugler as being this, brilliant, genius person, even if when he's making pure mid, that's great. You can use that shine to now develop your own and, reheat leftovers and present it to the public, right? But it's reheated leftovers. Let's not kid ourselves about this shit. I think I'm gonna end it there, okay? Because I've said a lot. At great personal risk, if that makes sense. But I guess I'm just tired, yo. I'm just tired. Like at some point, people are going to figure out that a lot of this stuff is pure mid. Pure mid. And they'll say, yo, you're a hater. But again, great speaks for itself. And usually takes time, right? Like, people were telling me about Attack on Titan for years. I saw the first couple episodes and I thought it was cool, but I was like kind of stalled at like episode 3, and I was like, ugh. But it just kept coming up because great shit is like that. It just keeps coming up. And then I was like, okay, all right. You know what? Let me give this a real shot again. And then once I got past, I would say even like episode 4 or 5 or something like that, then I was like, ooh. And that first season, I don't want to ruin it for those of y'all who haven't seen it, but the second half of that first season, I was on edge like a muff. Like, I was like, whoa, talk about exploring your premise. You take the idea and then it just goes, and still now, I don't know where they're going with it, but it's interesting, right? That's the whole point. You start with an idea and develop it and make it blossom. It's not, there's blues, there's vampires, there's gangsters. Like, no. This is weak storytelling, and we know better. And people in the industry and people who are marketing, we all know better. We just choose to not say shit. And I'll leave it on that note.